Yeah, man, people, welcome back, man. Welcome back to the channel. You don't know, Nicardo Media House out here again, with the morning insider show. It is the Monday morning. You don't know, it is the eve of the big game. You understand? It's the eve of the big game. Important time again for the Reggae Boys. It seems like one game already into the Nations League, and our back is against the wall, of what to come in the next 2 to 3 games of the Nations League. You understand? It feel like that to me. You don't know, but I mean, bless up to the people as usual. Usually come out and support the video. Come over here and watch the videos. Really appreciate you guys. Salute again to the people. A massive shout out. People, man, continuously supporting the channel. You get what I say? But yeah, it is the eve of the second game of the CONCACAF Nations League for the Reggae Boys. It's a very important, as it's going on in Honduras. They will sell importante. You understand? It's not just for us. It is the 3 top teams, in the region, or you could say 4, in the group. Yeah, I think I said the region, but in the group, Nicaragua, Trinidad, Honduras, and the Reggae Boys. Very important games are coming up for those 4 teams. And when you look around what is really going on, with us, new coach, and it seems like things kind of seems like it go back to square one. But my opinion, I don't think it's going back to square one. I think it's just a little blip, because let's tap into that Cuba game. If we should play that game tomorrow, or we should have played that game, the nether day, or 2 days ago, or a day after we played them, just say if we could play the game on a Saturday, yeah, we probably would have beat them 2-0, 3-0. One of those goals would have gone in. I would have probably, and go on to get the 3 points that we deserve, need, But because to hold the Nations League have sets up, you're going to play 2 away games and 2 home games. 6 teams in the zone, and you want to play 4 games. So it's going to be a smash and grab. It's going to be a smash and grab. It's very important. And then how our game sets up, we played 2 Central American teams back to back, after Honduras. The next time, I think around in October, sometime around October, we play away to Nicaragua again, and then October the 14th, I think we close out with Honduras. So it's going to be a massive task. The next 3 games for the Reggae Boys will feel like it is a final. Yeah, it will feel like a final. And look, we went all the way to the semi-final. Honduras I think they went to the play-in, trying to get into the Copa America, and they lost out against Costa Rica. So it's going to be some do or die games. Honduras, they went to the quarterfinals last time out with Mexico in the Nations League. They beat Mexico at that same old venue, I think our 2-0, and then went to the Estadio Azteca and lost out on the last minute of that game. So this is a team I've been making some stride, but let me go back into the Cuba game. There's three negative on my opinion about the game against Cuba. 1, we did not finish. 2, we played against 10 men for majority of that second half. 3, bad results. Bad results. So those 3 inputs are my 3 negative on the game that played on Friday in Kingston, Jamaica. Some of the positive, the fans, that was one of the biggest positive for me. The fans turned up, because look, we want to feel about the love around the national team. We want the local people, who's going to watch the game whenever it played in Kingston, or if a game going to play in Montego Bay sometime in the future. Those people are very important people around the football and supporting the players as well. You have heard it from the player as well, Casey Palmer. That is a very good support, and that is some beautiful football he have ever played under the coach. And he's talking about football. That is the second positive that I would take. The type of football, you kind of see the type of shape that McLaren trying to play with the team. It's positive, but I think the personnels on the pitch on that day didn't really match up to that expectation. I would say they are not good enough for that system. So he's going to need changes, and he's going to need to adapt quickly around this selection. He's going to adapt quickly, because he have spoken about players who could come off the bench, make an impact, players who could make a difference he kind of lacked that knowledge just by listening to his press conference. You understand? So he's going to have to adapt quickly around the group of players, who can give him that extra goal, who can give him that extra energy, who can give him that particular type of work that he need in the squad. He's going to have to find out and learn really quickly. So I'm not going to take away much from the game. It's past and gone. Want to focus on Honduras, and that's the game up tomorrow. It is the eve today, Monday morning. You understand? So when you look at it, Coach Steve McLaren, he's going to have to find a team that can do the job down there in Honduras coming tomorrow. It's very important. We need to take away the lack too much of individual players doing their own thing. We trying to depend on too much individual talent to come up with the goods whenever we wanted something from a game. It's time for us to play collective football, play as a unit. These Honduran media, the media press that they talk, when you listen to them talk about what is the reggae boy, how they play, these are the type of stuff that they're talking about. Very good team, very good players, individual talent, players playing in the Premier League, how our players are playing at a higher level than the Honduras team. You understand? It's just probably a few players that is really playing at a high level in Europe. That is, I think it's Luis Palma, that's playing for Celtic, and I think, Arriaga playing for Partizan, and I think Maldonado, is playing in Romania, so they are playing at a high level, in Europe. But when you look at it, the difference right now, their squad and our squad, the players are playing minutes. All of the players that started in that game against the Trinidad team, they have minutes under their belt. So they're going to be a fit squad. They're going to run. They're technically gifted. They have an understanding, with each other. And even the players, they have game changers on the bench also. And also the players who didn't start that game against, Trinidad and Tobago, they have minutes under their belt. They're playing competitive football week and week out for their club team. So this team is a more prepared team than they're at a higher level in preparation. They are more advanced in preparation. They're at a better stage, in terms of selection of players, fitness wise, have that condition, that style of play, that system that know to get the best out of each and every individual in that squad. So we're going to be up against it. Trust me, we're going to be up against it, because when you look at it, man, we cannot lose this game, because Nicaragua is in the group. They will play they will play I think they will play Cuba next, and after Honduras played us, they will play away to French Guiana, and then they will close out the CONCACAF Nations League group stage at Kingston against us. So it's going to be very difficult. It's very important that we get 3 points. 3 points is what really needed. So let's so listen to what this journalists have to say. Journalists coming from Honduras, speaking about the Jamaica and the style of play and stuff like that, and and playing like an individual team more than playing like a collective team. Listen to what he have to say.
Ethan Pinnock, Bobby Reid, Michael Antonio and Demarai Gray were with all their stars. The only one missing there was Leon Bailey, who is the one. The most dangerous and most important player is the star of this Jamaica, but he was the only one who was not there, but from their friends he had his entire team, and he did not know how to take advantage. And that is what I mentioned to you, many important names that play in the Premier, but at a collective level, this selection leaves much to be desired. And that is why we do not see it as a selection, but at least to get such important results sometimes it costs. It does not have that solidity, because it does not have a defined style of play. They bet more on the individual, bet more on one-on-one. And that is the game of this Jamaican selection. But hey, the Cuban team, my friends, is impressive. In just the 44th minute, you are left with 10 against Jamaica, knowing the huge differences there are. Because if we look at the figures from one player to another, this Jamaican team has a large part of its players playing in English football, 4 of them in the Premier League, who plays for Norwich City in the 2nd Division of England, the most important player this team has. But in the end, who ends up fighting? Who ends up?
So, I mean, looking around the spectacle of everything, look, I think the starting lineup that started on Friday, there's going to have to be at least 1 or 2 changes into the team, because during my preview, I was talking about, look, Joel Latibodier and Ethan Pinnock in that backline will be very crucial, because those 2 players, I think, can really pass up the ball really good. I mean, listen what I have to say, in my preview, when I talk about those 2 partnership in the backline, Ethan Pinnock and Joel Latibodier, 2 best passer in the Reggae Boyz team, and how they progress the ball forward. And Pinnock and Joel Latibodier partnership in that centre half role. One Pinnock on the left, Joel Latibodier on the right. Look, teams that naturally sit behind, you naturally get more free time as a centre half. So both, I think those 2 players are more comfortable on the ball more than Nanalo and Deshaun Bernard. And one on the right is a right footer, one on the left is a left footer. They can progress the ball up into the midfield. They're more comfortable doing that, especially Joel Latibodier. Pinnock is very good at that, keeping that ball on that left hand side, push the team up, push back the team, get the attacking players deep into the defensive third of, get the team into the defensive third of the Cuban half, you understand? So I think that's why I will go there. Those players are naturally good on the ball and can progress the ball well moving forward, and so yeah, so that was basically that I was saying, so I think this Honduras game, if he probably want to start Damian though, I think this will be a really good game to start him in, exactly what to expect in Honduras, a very good team. Technically, they're going to push the ball a lot forward. So if he probably want to start Damian Nanalo, this would be the perfect example, that would be the perfect game to put him in and start him in it. But again, this game will just feel like it's just a back against the wall, so it's going to be very important. But in that game, coming up tomorrow, it's going to be very important that we actually played a very team spirit game. Team game is going to need it in that game on Tuesday night. And guess what? Late night Tuesday, that will be the last game of the international cycle for the September window. So the Reggae Boyz will close out the September window by a victory. Hopefully, we can get that victory that we're looking for. So team game is going to be needed, because when you look around it, this Honduras team is a very well organized team. You understand? Their midfield, their structure in the backline is very organized. They know exactly what to do. This is a team that they've been together. New coach, new cycle over the last 2 years now. But the same old players is trying to put together, and it's a feel good moment again around Honduras football. And I'm going to get there a couple minutes from now, talking about their team as well. You understand? So our coach is going to have to get changes into the team. He's going to have to tweak a lot of things, and when I look on it, a player, like Nanalo, he had 5 out of 11 long pass. Yes, so that's like 45% completion rate when it comes down to the long passes. I don't know, he just tend to want to hit the ball long. We didn't need that in our Cuba game. We need to progress the ball on the pitch, move the ball forward with intensity and high energy. Joel Latibodier in that midfield, he had a wonderful game, in my eyes, because it was Cuba. They backed off on him. He had around 76 touches, on the ball. He have like 13 passes into the final third, so he moved the ball a little bit. Usually he moved the ball a little bit quicker, he moved the ball a little bit more forward than usually when he played in the big games. When you're talking about the big games, how much game I try to remember, but I think it was I'm trying to remember, but there was a big game, I think, when we played Honduras last time out in September in Kingston. He had like 26 touches on the ball. He had like 2 to 3 passes into the final third as a midfielder. You go back to the semi-final in the Gold Cup when we lost out to Mexico 3-0. he barely could get the ball forward. He had less touches on the ball. So I'm saying, when it comes down to the big teams in this region, he tend to struggle playing in that midfield. And how he wants to play the midfield, he's not going to get a lot of time, a lot of space on the ball. You get what I mean? I say so. Teams, especially playing in a stronghold in Honduras, it will be difficult. You have less tenth of a second to be think to how you're going to move the ball around. So I'm saying, there's a specialist has to play in that midfield for us. A specialist must play in that midfield. Is either you're going to gamble and play the young youth, Adrian Jr., which I don't think you will do. Jonathan Russell must play in that central department for the Reggae Boys, and I will go with the same two midfielders that partnership with Joe Latibody in that midfield, Casey Palmer and Bobby Reed. Bobby Reed is that player. Look, he is that player in the midfield that he don't lose the ball very often. One, and when we tend to lose the ball, he's one of the first player in that midfield is that trigger press, hustling, bustling, trying to get back the ball, winning the ball, pressing the opponent, pressure important player in the midfield. So he's important to that midfield player that going to play that number 10 or that number 6. You understand? So he can play in between them. So Bobby Reed, I think, is a must start. It's going to be a warrior game. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be like a dog fight, fighting with some bunch of, I would say like African dogs. You understand? That ready for you, ripped up your body, tear it up apart. You understand? But I will give Jamal a second chance. I will probably start Demar Gray again. Which I didn't really want Jamal to be played in that game. I said it. Norman Campbell is the one that probably should have started in that game. Give the team a lot with, because the team was too narrow in that game against Cuba. A lot of times, Demar Gray and Jamal finding themselves in the midfield together. And Mikel Antonio and Boyz. Look, over the last, you would say, we played 3 games in the Copa America. We play Cuba, and now we're going to play Honduras. When you look the last 4 to 5 games, Mikel Antonio have played more minutes than Shaman Nicholson, but Shaman Nicholson have given you more end product than Mikel Antonio. Yes, Shaman Nicholson is not at his best at the moment. They don't lack match fit and all of that, but Shaman Nicholson have more touches on the ball, more find himself in more dangerous spot in the box more than a Mikel Antonio who have played more minutes. I don't know what Mikel Antonio think he's a number 10 trying to drop in the hole. You already have Bobby Reed, Casey Palmer in that midfield. You already have Jamalo and Demar Gray was finding himself clogging up the infield. And then you have a Mikel Antonio who's supposed to be running the channels, finding himself in that number 10 position. And a lot of times, Bobby Reed was the one that making the run from the midfield, breaking the line. So things like that, the coach going to have to start out between Boyz or Mikel Antonio. Look, up to this point, it doesn't really matter who really start for me, but I will probably go with the gamble and put Shaman Nicholson, because over the last games, you have proven that when our back is against the wall, he know how to find the back of the net. So I'm saying, I would love to see Boyz, give him that, he have that spirit, he have that trench tone warriorness about him. Like, when your back is against the wall, you always trump up with the goods. So that's what I have to say around the Reggae Boys. Let's go into what I'm going to talking about, the La H, the Honduras national team. So some sad news for the La H fans and some slightly good news for the Reggae Boys. The starting goalkeeper is out. I think his name is Edgar. And the right back, they also out. They pick up injury in that first game, and they will be out of the game on Tuesday. So the coach Ronaldo Rueda have replaced both of those players with some local talent. You understand? And this Honduras squad, will fill with I think 12 to 13 players that playing locally in Honduras. They want two of their most important players playing in that midfield at double pivot. You understand? Arriaga and Flores play in that double pivot, sitting right in front that back four. And the most important player, I think, that link the midfield and the foul line together is Alexandra Lopez. The veteran, the man who is playing for Honduras selections for over a decade and a half, 17 years of service. You understand? So Luis Palma he's going to be very vital. You understand? I can't remember the player that was playing. I don't remember who was that player was playing on that right hand side, but it's going to be important to close down those four important bodies in that midfield. Luis Palma, Flores, who play for Toronto. Arriaga, the young man is coming from, who was at Minnesota, got his dream, moved to Serbia for Partizan, and the other local player that played in, I think it's Olympia, he is on that right hand side. Those two players is interchanges, especially two wing players, Luis Palma, and that right midfield sided player. They always come in and make it be as a four in that central area, and then you have Lopez floating around the empty spots, trying to link up play and looking for El Choco, Lozano up front. So it's going to be a tough battle for the Reggae Boys in this team, because this team is a very technical team. This team, is a group. This team have been making progress over the last 2 seasons. I keep saying 2 seasons. This team have making progress over the last 2 years under this coach. You get what I say? But when you look at it, it's a feel-good moment again around Honduras football. It is a feel-good moment again around Honduras football. And when you look at it, now Honduras games are started to come on national TV. They have signed that deal with the government and the Honduras Federation. So they're trying to bridge the gap between the local fans, because there was a disparity between, they have been trash team. They have been disorganized for some time now. Going into tournaments, they're not doing really good. You understand? So they kind of finding back that love with each other. And I'm telling you, it wasn't a full house stadium against Trinidad on Friday, but let me tell you this: the game that's coming up tomorrow, it's going to be a jam-packed arena in a Estadio Nacional. You understand this? So it will be one of the most intimidating atmosphere a lot of these players will be experienced in the CONCACAF region. You understand? So I'm just looking at it, man. So looking at Ronaldo Rueda, he have spoken to the press, and this is what he and Choco Lozano, the captain, the striker, have to say about the national team and about playing Caribbean team on a whole. You understand? So looking at this.
Good afternoon. I'm from HGH Sports. I asked you, why do you think it would make a huge explosion, especially the fans who said, well, Honduras has to beat Trinidad and Tobago, but they don't have much confidence in Jamaica. And why? Do you think this is happening? And especially for this Tuesday, will you guys still have the active lungs to be able to counteract above all that offensive that Jamaica has? Well,
I think it's normal. No, but at the same time, we have to realize that the Caribbean islands have grown a lot. All the teams today for the kingdom, it's not easy to win a game. Everything was vague there. I think that until the game opened with a great goal by Alex Lopez, we didn't feel more comfortable, But it's normal that people think it's easy to win these games. But I mean, it has nothing to do with it later on the field. You have to show that you have to do things well to win the games, and well, now we want to play a game against Jamaica, which is going to be just as competitive. It's going to be just as difficult. But well, we know that Jamaica also has players playing at a very high level, so it's not going to be easy. I think that's where people say that Jamaica is going to be more complicated, which is the reality, and we have a team that is gaining confidence, and then this result is important.
So you could see that for the captain, Choco Lozano is talking about the Jamaica team. They will be they will come, they will fight, they will come and play aggressive football, but guess what, they know how to move around that, moving the ball quickly. So that's what I'm saying, we going to need to play as a team. It's going to take a team effort to get that massive points that we're looking for, or if we can get that 3 points, it's going to be very important that we play team football, so when you look at it, man, hopefully we can get the 3 points, and we'll move on from there. So but people, thanks for watching. This is Nicardo Media House. I'm out.